Good morning. It is time for stamp class, you guys. So excited to have you here with us this morning. Give a little bit for some people to be able to hop on. I'll try to find us on the iPad. Good morning, good morning. It's finally time for stamp class. Yay. I'll wait just a bit for some people to be able to find us in their news feed, and then we can get started. Good morning. As you pop in, if you'll let us know that you're here, say hello. It's not coming up on the iPad. Do you have your phone with you? And if you'll turn the thing off. Stampin' Up! Facebook has kind of changed how they do some things. Once again, they keep me on my toes. So I hope you guys are ready for some ways to use scraps today. It's going to be a fun class. Wait just a minute. I might be able to find it easier on there, Dell. Thank you. All right, we'll wait just a minute. I think I found it. Goodness, Facebook is making it harder, isn't it? I see we've got a couple friends with us now. Yeah, we're just not able to pull it up on the iPad this morning for some reason. Let me see. I'm still working on it. We'll give a little bit more time for people to hop on. Hope y'all are having a good weekend so far. Oh, we love these technical difficulties, right? Yeah, I'm just not able to pull it up. Did you find it? No? Well, we may just have to work on this in the break. We'll go ahead and get started, though. I may have found it, though. Yay, finally. Morning, you guys. You do have your ringer off? Okay, finally. Okay, let's get started. We've got a lot to do today. I'm super excited about this class. We've worked really hard to hopefully come up with some ideas you have not seen before. One of the problems that I noticed, which it's a great problem to have, is I don't have as many scraps this year. This is our traditional class where we use up our designer series paper, those little pieces of ribbon and embellishments. And this year I went more towards the paper, using up the paper. But we have been really good this year about using those little bits and pieces. So I had to get a little bit more, put a little bit more thought into this, because we have been good about using them up. So we've got all this beautiful paper, and it's retiring. Most of it is retiring. There is one, let's see, is that it? Yes, Heartwarming Hugs. You're going to be seeing this one again, which it is darling. So I'm really excited that they're going to be bringing this back in our July to December catalog. So that's going to be making a comeback, but the rest of these beautiful papers are going away. So we have come up with some ways to use these more holiday papers in more just all occasion cards. So I hope that you like what we've prepared for you. And we're going to jump in and work on our first project.
You got Donna, Judy, Sherry, and LaDonna.
Well, good morning, y'all. Glad you're here. Yes, and so what we're going to do is start with a project. I actually have two for this first video. We're going to take a little commercial break in between because I have so much stuff to tell you guys. Okay, so let's get going here. First of all, would you mind pulling those two papers back out, Dale? This is a layout that I think we've used before, possibly even in class. I know that I've used it before. And it is super versatile, and it's great when you have just the little pieces of Designer Series paper. So if you'll remember, this one is called Magic in This Night, and this is paper from the Halloween. Did I not get it out? Oh, thank you. That's okay. It's okay. So this is actually the paper from the Halloween suite. And so this is just used as a thank you card. And I know that even in class, we made a birthday card with that paper because it is just beautiful paper. Odell did find it. So here you go. We will flip through this. Now, some of them have the spider webs and much more traditional Halloween, but those black roses are amazing. I think that even LaDonna made me a birthday card too with this. We've seen sympathy cards made with this, so it's a phenomenal paper. I didn't have a lot left because we did make so many cool projects at Halloween, but this is what we came up with for this card. Now, I'm going to take December off as far as some of my usual things that I offer for you guys, and one of those things is our PDF. We're not going to do a PDF tutorial this month, but you're going to have all of the measurements. We're going to tell you those as we go. So let me grab that paper right quick so I can tell you that on this first layout, what we did was this piece. This piece is 4 inches by 2 inches. So it's a standard card base, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. And then this piece is 4 inches by 2 inches. And then these two pieces are very similar, but in order to get a little bit of a border around them, you have to cut them just a little bit differently. So one is 3 1/8 by 2 inches. The other one is 3 1/8 by 1 7/8, so that you have that little bit of break in between it. Now, do these have to be super close? No. Grab your scraps and see what you have. I mean, you could still have smaller pieces in those spots. Whatever you have, make it work. And Dale and I kind of talked about, we like that 1/8 of an inch border all the way around, and you can just work on your math and figure that out. Or just use your pieces and see how they look. So this is our first layout. Now here you see it positioned a different way and using the Snowflake Splendor Designer Series paper. And so you still have that 4 by 2 inch, and then those two pieces that are 3 1/8 by, what did I just say, 2? And then 3 1/8 by 1 7/8. So it's just another way to orient that card. But I wanted to make them very similar with different papers so you could see how versatile this layout is. So just a reminder, that fabulous Snowflake Splendor paper. Now, even though this is retiring, it is still perfect for those winter projects. We talked the other night on Paper Pumpkin. Becky had made a bunch of snowmen, and she wondered if she could still use them. I say absolutely. It's still time for some winter projects. So I will show you that we use the Stitched Shapes dies. You guys know this is probably the die set that I recommend when someone is getting started in dies. I use this set all the time. Comes with 12 dies, 4 of each of the circle, oval, and square. So that is what I used, was that oval to cut that out. And we'll use those later on as well. And then what did I do with the, oh, no, this is still the same one. So here we're going to use the toile paper, 12 Tidings. Do you have that one out, Dale?
Would
Would you get it out?
That's 12 times, yes.
Yeah.
Sherry Barrett says she's not ready to work on that.
Oh, you're not ready to work on math? Well, just text Dale. He'll do the math for you. That's what he does for me a lot of the times. I just am one of those people, I take the scraps that I have and I just put them on there and I rearrange them and I snip a little bit off. He's the one that does the math. I know what I like when I see it. So whichever way you want to do it is fine. So I thought this paper would be really good for a masculine card. And even though it's a very Christmassy paper, this piece just has the bear and, more like a wildlife scene. So we're going to put that there. And then we did go ahead and run through, let me turn it right side up, using that Evergreen Forest embossing folder. And I'll bring that closer so you can see that we've embossed that piece. I always have a hard time telling which side. I guess it really doesn't make a big difference, but this is a beautiful embossing folder. It is also carrying over, Stampin' Up! Announced their retirement list, gosh, a week or so ago. But I need that mat, please, Dee. Thank you. But this is an embossing folder that's carrying over, which I'm glad because it's gorgeous. I've seen some really amazing projects made with it. So this 12 Tidings paper, if you'll recall, is just Real Red and Garden Green. And it is a very traditional paper. Here comes the train. Every time, you guys. That's okay, though. So this is one of those returning favorites that came back from last year. So I really don't think we're going to see it again, but it's a beautiful paper, especially to make boxes and bags from, but also cards. So let's go ahead and ink up this thank you stamp because we're just going to use that very same stamp. And I know you're probably thinking, where did that gorgeous thank you stamp come from? And I'll show you a little bit later. You're kind of getting a sneak peek. See if I can get this lined up and not get my head in the camera. We did not cut another oval, so I better do good on my stamping, right? Ah, pretty good. I like those kind of scripty fonts because I think they're a little bit forgiving. Okay, so just use Garden Green. I'm a font person, so I love that. So again, just a standard card base. Let's go ahead and adhere things down. And this one's going to come together very, very quickly. And I do think we may have used this layout in class before. But I love that as you put the papers on, you can orient it this way. You can have that piece at the top, over at the side. Of course, you could turn it that other way as well. So it just gives you so many options. Any comments I need to know about, Dean? I'm glad y'all are here this morning.
Judy agrees with you that the thank you is beautiful.
Oh, good. Does anybody know, by chance, where that thank you came from? I'll show you, though. That's kind of a trick question, isn't it? I think we'll put this side down. I'm being very generous with the glue on this because it is embossed, but it looks like I'm kind of being generous with the glue all the way around this morning. So this is why we're going to have two projects on this first video, because you see how quickly this card comes together. Now it looks like I may have it a little bit wonky right there, but we're going to cover that up. I am full of mistakes today. I'll show you a couple of things that I did that were kind of happy accidents. I'll show you. Dale's laughing at me. Literally a happy accident. Y'all are going to laugh at that little pun in a minute. Oh, I'm just a mess sometimes. And Sherry McGee is on here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sherry, when I saw your craft table, I can relate, girl. Because my room, oh my goodness, it looked like an explosion had happened in here last night. It only took me about an hour to clean it up though, so we'll just pop this little oval on. And then I think that's a nice kind of masculine card. Now you could certainly use a birthday sentiment, and that would make a really nice masculine birthday card. So just little pieces of paper. This one, I really didn't have another little scrap, so we just put that piece of cardstock that was embossed. You could use any embossing folder. So that is card number 1, you guys. But like I said, I do have another one that we're going to use for this video. So just a reminder, your 2x4 inch, and then you've got 2 pieces here. One is 3 1/8 by 2. The other one is 3 1/8 by 1 7/8. If you want the border. Okay. Are doing good on that, Dale?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Will you move that down, please? And we'll move on to our second project. But first, let me do my commercial. I've got a lot to tell y'all about. Okay, first up, this gorgeous catalog. It is retiring. So I think it's the 4th of January when these products will no longer be available. I do have a list here that I printed out of all of these things that are carrying over either into the annual catalog or into our July to December mini catalog, which will be our new holiday catalog that will come out in July. So this is really all that's staying from this catalog. And then we have 2 pages worth of retiring product. So that kind of makes me a little bit sad. But, you know, out with the old and in with the new, right? I've got a new fabulous catalog that's coming, and also Celebration. So right now I'm not allowed to show you the inside of this January to June mini catalog, but trust me, you know I would not steer you wrong. It's amazing. And that thank you stamp, that is one of the stamps from inside this catalog. And I can show you the product, I just can't show you the catalog. So I'll show you that stamp set in just a minute. So we do have our year-end closeout sale going on. We also had a clearance rack refresh about a week ago. Now a lot of those items are discounted pretty deeply. They pretty much fly out of there, but there's still some good deals. On the year-end closeout sale, some of the items that we're going to be using today, other than the Designer Series paper, are also retiring. So we'll try to point those out to you. So we are using stuff up today because we've got to make room for new product. I am going to have a launch party for this beautiful catalog and show you lots of ideas. We'll do a catalog walkthrough, and that is on Saturday, January 9th. It feels weird to say January, doesn't it? It feels weird. But 2021 is coming, y'all. It's going to be here really soon. So we will do that in my group, CT's Craft and Connect. So we will be doing a paper share, again, with this new catalog. So if you want in on that, I'll be announcing that soon. So we basically 4 people share the packages of Designer Series paper. So you get a little sampling of everything. We'll be doing the launch party. I'm going to be moving some things over to that group, CT's Craft and Connect group. So I'll put a link in this group so that you can join there if you're not already a member. I know that most of you are. But I've decided going forward, I won't make these individual groups for our stamp class. We're just going to use that kind of community group to hold our classes in. I think that that will make it simpler. You guys won't have to join a different group every time. I will work on moving PDF files over there, and then going forward, that's just going to be one place where you will go for classes. If you need to locate a PDF, I just feel like that will kind of help us build our community there. It will make it so much easier for y'all. It'll make it easier for me, but I just feel like it'll make it much better. So that's kind of one of my little resolutions for the new year. Trying to think what else. Oh, Celebration. If you're not familiar with that, it's our biggest sale of the year. This whole entire brochure it's filled with things that are free. So when you place an order in increments of $50 starting January the 5th, I believe. Yes, the 5th. Then you get to select something free from this catalog, this little brochure. So that's Celebration. So there's rewards as a customer. There's rewards for hosting. Basically, you can host your own order. Or there's also rewards when you join. So I'll be telling you about that pretty soon. And also as demonstrators, we earn rewards during Celebration. So kind of stay tuned for some of that information coming soon. Let's see, is that it? I think that's it. The commercial is over. Let's keep on going, y'all. Any questions about any of that information? I hope that it's going to help kind of simplify things. No questions, Steve?
No
We're
questions.
doing good? Okay.
Sherry said it only took her 25 minutes to get cleaned up yesterday.
Oh, good job, girl. You're
And
way
she was
better than me.
Ready for stamp class 24 hours later.
Yes, I love that. We all want stamp class every day, right? That I have to say though, for just 1 second or two, my heart kind of stopped and I was like, "Oh no, what have I done? Have I messed up?" But that was funny. But you know, it's just hard right now. We're all struggling with what day it is and everything. So I'm just excited that it gave you an opportunity to get your room cleaned up and that you're here today. So glad you're here, Sherry. Alrighty, let's go ahead and jump into the next thing that we want to talk to you about with your scraps. You know I love these triangle dies, and we've got a card for you that we made using those. And this is kind of a little boy's birthday card, I would think. I think you might could use it for an older boy as well, but we just thought using the plaid tidings paper, so let me grab that little sample of the plaid tidings to refresh your memory on it. I know a lot of you have that paper. And it was such a cool paper pack because it had plaids that you could use at Halloween, you could use for fall and Thanksgiving, and then also for Christmas. But we are making some birthday cards today. So, you know, some of these papers, that's the one that I chose, had a little kind of strip of that was just kind of awkward. So we were able to use that to make this little birthday card. So just a reminder how pretty that plaid tidings paper is. I'll bring this up a little bit closer. I want to kind of show you there's some dimension on the happy, and I'll show you those dies in a minute. What we did was cut that sentiment 3 different times and then glued that together so that it would really kind of pop off the card. So, happy, happy birthday. And then I saw a demonstrator the other day that used just a die cut that she had left over, kind of as the envelope seal. So I thought that looked cute to have that little envelope seal there. Let me get these dies out of the way. And then I decided to go ahead and make a card that would be kind of like for a little girl's birthday using the stitch shape circles. So just cut out different sizes of circles. This time, use the birthday, and again, cut 3 of those sentiments and glued them together. I hope that that shows up on camera. It's just a super fun way to really give it more dimension. And let me know if you guys have tried that before. I had not. I saw Jennifer McGuire do that. So, you know, we wanted to get fancy too. Now you're going to see my happy accident. I told LaDonna what I did. So sometimes when I'm using a stamp, I want to make sure I've gotten it inked up well. And a lot of times I stamp it on my grid paper, but my grid paper was such a hot mess that I stamped it on what I thought was a scrap. It wasn't. It was the envelope. So I stamped it right here. I already had this little die cut on the envelope. So I just went ahead and put happy all over the back of the envelope. So y'all let me know what you think about my fix there. If it's too silly, I just was like, I'm not throwing this envelope away. So there you have that little seal. Thought that was a really cute idea. So let's go ahead now and make a little bit different kind of project. And again, we're using our dies to cut pieces. So we're pulling in the ornate labels and then also the painted labels dies. So you've got so many different shapes. Be sure that you are pulling out your die sets and just cutting those little scraps.
She really liked the way you used the gems.
Oh, good. Yeah, I went a little bit overbling, didn't I?
Judy says it's very cute.
Oh, thank you. It was fun. This using up scraps really is fun, you guys. So, you know, one of the things you could do if you wanted to, when you have the scraps and you have dies out, go ahead and cut some of those shapes, kind of preparing those items, and then you would have them ready when you're ready to sit down and you have stamps out to make a birthday card or something. You could go ahead and put that card together too, if those supplies are already prepared. So that's an idea. Also, I love the ideas that y'all have shared so far about how to store your scraps and how to use your scraps. I love that. So Word Wishes is a huge die set. Doesn't it have? Yeah. And it's got all kinds of sentiments in it. So that's where we're pulling the happy birthday from that we used. And then the card that we're making now, again, we used the dies and cut 3 of the sentiment and glued it together. It may not really show up very well on camera, but I'm telling you, it's really cool. Did I lose the U? There it is. It's really a cool effect on the card. So you can see, these are super simple cards. I'm just looking for this. But, you know, we're wanting to use those scraps up. So this time we're using a Highland Heather card base. We're going to be using pieces of that beautiful Snowflake Splendor Designer Series paper. So let's go ahead and put our inside panel. Do what? Why? Do I? I don't think so. Also an idea that I love. LaDonna sometimes can't sleep, and I will send her some paper, and she will cut these pieces for me. It is such a time saver to have a big stack of those available when you're getting ready to design projects. I love that. So thank you, LaDonna. I think of you often when I'm grabbing from that stack. Let's go ahead and adhere this piece down. So again, an 8.5 by 5.5 piece of Highland Heather cardstock. And it is scored at 4 1/4. And then I guess this is 5 1/4 by 4, right?
Yes.
This piece of Snowflake Splendor Designer Series paper. And it's one of the prettiest papers. It has that watercolor effect. And then we've got these pieces that have been die cut, those kind of intricate frames. And I know this is also a set that a lot of you have. Let me see, is that how I want it? No. How do I want that? Yeah, I guess that way. Maybe like that. Maybe bring this one over here. So you can see, you can kind of play with positioning. And then we've got the thank you, and I think we're going to go like this with the thank you. And you know, here you wouldn't even have to use the same pattern paper if you didn't want to. You could really mix it up. But this is just so pretty. We're going to need some bling for this card as well, I think. So one of the things that I like to try to do is use up some of that bling, like those iridescent pearls. I believe those have already sold out, you guys. I think they flew out the door. They're so amazing. I think I'm going to pop this on like this. gives just a little bit of contrast there. You could even pop some of these up if you wanted to. We've made a card similar to this. We did pull kind of some basic layouts that we've used before. I'm trying to remember what class that was even in. Wasn't that long ago. It was a 4x4 card though. Let's see. I think I like it like this. Y'all let us know what you think. This is just fun. And then we really probably should have put some of those adhesive sheets on here, but we didn't. So I'm just going to try to go in with a tiny amount of glue just from the tip of my bottle. Put a little bit of glue on the back here. Just hold that thanks down, or thank. This is actually thanks when you cut it out, but you can also think outside the box and kind of trim from your dies. That's pretty straight. And this is Pacific Point that coordinates with this paper. Actually, it's almost every single blue in the catalog in the Snowflake Splendor and then the Highland Heather. So again, you know, more of a holiday type paper, but we're making a thank you card. And we will need thank you cards after the holidays, so this will come in handy. Need thank you cards a lot of times. Okay, somewhere I still have a few little scraps of rhinestones, and of course, I think we need a little bit of bling with our thank you card. So let's go ahead and pull some of those little rhinestones in.
Don't overdo it with the bling.
Don't overdo it, can you? We've talked about this before, Dale. I think that's a perfect place right in the center of that snowflake. I need to order some more rhinestones, you guys. This is it. This is all that I have in the house. That dude does not want to stay on there. I lost it. There. And I think maybe we'll put a couple up here. That good? Oops. Where did he go? Sneaky little rhinestone.
Okay.
There he is.
They're stuck to your finger.
Okay. Using the take your pick tool really helps, but sometimes they still get away from you. That one does not want to leave my finger. Yeah. I think he's a reject. Go in for another one of these little guys. It helps because you can really get up underneath the adhesive. Let's see. Let's go up here with this one. And I think we'll stop. Some of these cards, you guys, I have like 7 embellishments on. So let me know what you think. I think it's a cool way to use up those scraps. And then also really get some more mileage out of your dies. So didn't do an envelope for this one. But there you have it. Some cards using your dies. And using those scraps up. So that is it for video number 1. We're going to move some things around. We'll be back at 10 o'clock for video number 2 with some more cool ideas for using your scraps. Be sure that if you're going to participate in mystery stamping, you have your supplies ready. Let us know if you have any trouble finding the mystery stamping clues that we've got posted. I think those went up like Wednesday. So hope you'll join in for mystery stamping, and we'll see you back in a few minutes.